I'm standing here on the grounds of Christchurch Cathedral, and I'm delighted to be joined by an American visitor to Dublin, Ruth Deutsch, who's taken a break from her studies at the University of Minnesota Duluth to carry out a history and archival internship in Ireland. And Ruth, during your stay here in Dublin, you've been based very close to the cathedral where we are now, and you've had an opportunity to learn about some of the local history and heritage, including this very striking sculpture beside us, a homeless Jesus, which you're going to be discussing in our interview. So perhaps you could just start by introducing this homeless Jesus sculpture, please.
In April 2015, the homeless Jesus sculpture was presented by a Canadian artist. His name was Tim Schmalz, and there's over 60 copies of the work installed at the locations around the world.
And I think this is the first one to be installed outside North America, is that right?
Yes, it is. There are a couple more locations, like Canada, Toronto, and London, England.
Okay, and I remember the first time I saw the sculpture, and probably like an awful lot of people, when I was walking by Christchurch Cathedral and I looked in and I saw it, it was in the evening. I assumed it was a homeless person sleeping on a bench. I think that's a lot of people's first reaction. But when you go closer, you begin to learn a little bit more. But just in terms of describing the sculpture and any details about it, what is there that people should look out for when they see the sculpture?
So first you're probably going to notice that there isn't really, you can't tell who the person is on the bench. And so the face is covered by a blanket or cloak, and it just symbolizes the anonymity of the homeless. And it's also just in the laying position on a bench, which also just symbolizes the homelessness. And on the feet, there are wounds from Jesus' crucifixion to symbolize that it is Jesus.
Okay, so the feet are very important in the sculpture.
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, it's been here now, it was 2015 it was in,
yes.
So it's been here now 10 years. And was it always destined to be installed here at Christchurch Cathedral, or were there any other places in Dublin considered for the sculpture when it was donated?
No, so I believe it was the Irish Times launched a poll and asked the people of Ireland what they thought should be the location of the statue, and the people decided Molesworth Street or the plinth at Leicester House, near where a homeless man, Jonathan Corey, died. But instead, Tim Schmalz, the artist, he was a devout Catholic and decided that on one of his trips to Dublin that Christchurch Cathedral would be the best spot because it's the spiritual heart of Dublin.
And obviously it's a spectacular setting. I mean, we heard the bells ringing there. Just when you look around, it's just this extraordinary cathedral, and it does really hit you, the sculpture, when you like I said, when you come into the grounds. And I think the artist, the word he used to describe it was uneasy. That's what he was looking for. He wanted people to see the sculpture and feel uneasy. Is that how you felt when you first encountered it, or?
Yeah, I sort of had the same experience as you did, and I thought it was a real person at first, and then I realized it was actually a statue. I was sort of really caught off guard by it. But yeah, as soon as I sort of contemplated its meaning, it kind of sent me in a spiral of thoughts. So yeah, it was a little unsettling at first, but.
Yeah, and I noticed here that there's some space at the end of the bench, so I suppose the artist clearly wants people to sit with the homeless Jesus, to ponder on the message that's being conveyed. Is this something that you could imagine being, say, in Duluth, where you're based at the University of Minnesota Duluth? Could you imagine a sculpture like this being based in your hometown?
Yeah, I think it would probably fit in well in our town, just because our community also has been impacted by homelessness, and just considering that it's in such a cold part of the world, it's a harsh issue for people experiencing it. And I also do believe that there is a large Christian population, so I think that might resonate with that population. And also I just think that it would also be a good learning opportunity and opportunity to spread awareness to students at UMD and also all the other schools in the area about the issue, not only in Duluth, but across America and the world.
Ruth, thanks very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your trip in Dublin.
Thank you.
Thank you.